Welcome to the Inspiration for an Empowered Life podcast, sponsored by the Image Designers. They will help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. Now, here's your host, the Image Master, Holly Porter.
Hello and welcome everybody to the show today. I have a special guest with me. Her name's Brigitta, and I'm not even going to say her last name. I'm going to let her say it because I will totally butcher it. So what is it?
It's Höferle. Thanks, Holly, for having me.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'm like, So Brigitta is one of the 40/40 Rules authors, Wisdom from 40 Women Over 40. And that's how we met. We got introduced by a mutual friend, and I was so excited. She jumped in kind of at the end of me gathering up 40 women, and I was so excited and blessed that she joined us in the book. And so if you haven't got your hands on a copy yet, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it at hollyporter.com/books, and go there and get your copy and read her chapter. It's also on an ebook on Kindle on Amazon. So she's a great. Brigitta, let me just share a couple things about you, and then I'm going to turn this over to you. So you're from Germany, and you came to the U.S. in 2004, and you are an educator, and you came to do a children and parent Montessori school. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and then you were a Peaks Potential trainer and coach, and now you love to still work with children, but you work, coaching and consulting your clients. So share a little bit more about that. And I know children are your passion. So wherever you'd like to take this, I would love to go with you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Holly. What an honor to be here. Yeah. And, I never question when something comes up. I'm someone that quickly says yes to something. And then if need be, there's a course correct. So that's really how we moved to the States. We went to the United States on a holiday, on a vacation in December of 2003. And my husband and I said, we just had a little girl. She was 15 months back then. And we said, how about we move to the States? Because in Germany, the glass was not even half empty. It wasn't even existing anymore, right? And that's not who we are. That we're just not so German in that sense. And I said, let me do some homework. And in April of 2004, we packed our entire stuff and moved to the United States. That sounds simple now. It wasn't. And we had to jump through a lot of hurdles and get over some obstacles. But that really determined who we became. And we came to the United States. My husband was a journalist back then, and I came with a business plan for a Montessori school. And that's what I was determined to do. And I did. And now fast forward 13 years, that little toddler girl is now 15 years old, is fluent in German and English. And our second child, which we call our anchor child, which is not really true because I'm a U.S. citizen and so are the other two girls. But they're both, incredible children, very independent. And because of them, it is what I became, being a coach, coaching adults, coaching children, coaching parents. And, as you said, my purpose and passion is children. And we all still, even, my mother, who's 80, just turned 80, and boy, she is fit as can be, still has a child within her. And, through the years that I've been coaching parents and coaching children and coaching my own team, I have a staff team of 13 women, one man. And I've realized, and by doing a lot of reading and a lot of self-development, a lot of education, we all still have that wonder child within us.
Yeah.
And we also have that wounded child within us. And it is only if we don't allow ourselves to look at what's the wound within us and what's stopping us and how can we reframe it, is really what's either going to hold us back or change and reframe and move on from there. So
are you saying wonder child or wounded?
I'm saying both. I'm saying wonder child and wounded child.
So when you say wonder, can you explain that?
Right. Okay. So there's as we, when we come on this earth, and even before that, we have children are inquisitive, and they don't even question it. They just go and say, what's that? They have no filter.
Right.
Come in as they, as that window kind of closes of the conscious mind versus the subconscious mind around age 6. And that's where a lot of children have a hard time learning, because they now at age 6, age 7, they literally have to sit down and learn. Up to that point, learning has just come and, happened subconsciously.
Right.
But now at age 6, that inquisitiveness is a little bit harder. So as we grow older, we learn by society, we learn by media that we're having all of these filters.
Mm-hmm.
And that wonder child that is still inquisitive and still, wants to know so much, gets put on a leash.
Yeah.
And being suppressed. And I know, and I've learned a lot of people through, all of the work that I've done over the years, when you suppress something, it's going to come out somewhere else, and it's not a pretty sight. If you suppress, by putting asphalt over a bunch of weeds, they're going to find their way out, maybe not straight up, but over and then out. And that's how we really are. So looking at the wonder child within us, where's our purpose? What are we here to do? And I work a lot with C-level clients and entrepreneurs on the business side. Mm-hmm. However, the business side affects the relationship, the personal, it's all connected. It's all holistic.
Absolutely.
But if we are able to look at the wonder child and allow that wonder to come back out, and also are able to look at the wounded child and are not afraid to tap into the pain, but really face the pain and allow it to heal.
Yeah.
Perhaps to reframe. That's really when the magic's starting to happen. So we both have the wonder child and the wounded child within us.
So can you share a secret, maybe one secret of what you would do to help somebody come get that back? Or
Yeah. My secret really is first of all, breathe and stay present. A lot of people that I work with, they're so caught up in their everyday life, and they think, that they have to do all of these things, because I'm working with people that are, high in business, and they're so high strung that they always live in the future.
Yeah.
But really staying present and listening to what's going on inside of me. Where is that wonder child? And what is it saying?
So
and sometimes just being still.
I love that. In fact, something came up for me. Can I share?
Yes, please.
So, gosh, hopefully I won't get emotional, because that really triggered me when you said that. So I raised 8 kids. I had 4 of my own and then 4 of Scott's, and we've been married going on 16 years now. So I had a bunch of teenagers in the house all at once. We had 7 living with us at one time. Custody of all of them. So I had them full time. And, there were some challenging things, that happened during that place. But I was also working like 60, 70 hours a week. I owned a salon and spa, plus a fundraising company. Plus I was president or chair of every organization in town, And so I thought it was so wonderful, because I could do my own schedule and I could take off work and I could go to the soccer games. But then I was the regional commissioner over 1,500 soccer players. So do you think I was really present on that field when they were having their game? I wasn't. I was picking up calls. I also had gotten during that time my real estate license. So it was busy and I was all over the place. And when you said that, it reminded me going back, just that was the backstory, going just to realizing, you know what? I was present, but I was not present. And if
you were present physically.
Yes. And if they'd realize the difference, because honestly, when my kids get together now and we share stories, or my family members, I have a huge family, and we get together and they'll say, oh, I remember this, or I remember that. I have no clue. It wasn't that I wanted to forget it. It's just, I wasn't present to have it there. I know it's there, but so with parents having that and you teaching the children, I think that's the difference. If, when we always say, oh, I don't want to go back in life. I always want to look forward. But like you said, you're looking into the future, and it's like, gosh, if I could have had a do-over, that would be it. It would be to slow down just a little bit, to smell the roses. I never smelled the roses. In fact, I never wanted anyone to give me roses because they just died. I always want, you know what I mean? It was always moving. So I love that. Yeah, I love that you said that. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack you. I just.
No, but and that's why I think I can relate to you so much, because it's exactly where I came from. And with the women that I work with, and it's not just women that I work with, you know, that's my avatar, if you will.
Sure.
But as I shared with you earlier, I work with OBGYNs, I work with, you know, rabbis, and they're male, and yet I can relate to them and they can relate to me, because we all have that in common, that we're trying to do so much, and we're trying to, you know, have that cape on. And when I coach and when I consult and when I train others, boy, I'm my first listener. I need to hear that as much as I need to hear everyone else.
And that's a skill, a true skill, to realize that because I don't feel like I was ever a good listener. I feel like now I'm a great listener, but I didn't have that skill until the last few years. It was just always, I go. And I'm sad for that now, because I look back and think, and now that I've done the personality profiling, things like you're big into that, and we can talk about that in just a minute. When I've done that, I realized I was wanting to mold these kids, you know, into a little mini me, or everything I missed out on, I wanted them to be or experience that I didn't get to. And you know what? All of my girls are total opposite personalities of me. I mean, direct, complete opposites. And so no wonder. And so now I look back and think, gosh, if I had these dang skills. So anyone that's listening, talk a little bit about that, and what they can do, what you can teach them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I just did a webinar, I think it was last week, on Thursday. I did a webinar called Listening is the New Selling. And especially as parents, we're in selling, we're in sales.
Definitely.
You know, we're selling our children an idea or something that we want them to do all the time. And we need to be the best salespeople. However, we really need to be the best listeners. And we can only be great listeners if we know what is it that we're listening for. And if I don't know what I'm listening for, and who am I listening to, and staying present while I'm listening, you know, the action after that listening is not worth anything. So you mentioned, you know, personality science, and the behavior around that is really getting to realize and relate where is the person, out of which modality and which code are they coming from,
right,
as I'm listening to them. Because as you said, you know, my children, especially my oldest, is the complete opposite of me. My husband is the complete opposite of me. And only because the many, many, many years of studying and education and self-development, self-growth that I have invested in, I have learned to listen for where are they coming from. Not that I am putting my modality, my code on them, but that I am coming from within me and wanting to understand where are they coming from. So there, you know, it goes all back to Hippocrates, you know, 2,500 years ago, and he puts humanity in 4 different temperaments. And you know, one thing that I teach, and I actually teach the 4-dimensional communications. I'm a educator and teacher by diploma, but I also am a communications major by diploma. So I wish in school, when I took my communications classes, that they would have gone more into the listening and what are we listening for, right?
Now you can create it.
And then that's where I created the 4-dimensional communication program that I'm teaching. And it really goes, it's not just one-dimensional. It's not just, you know, the 4 personality types, which, you know, and what I teach is the blueprint, the action, the nurture, and the knowledge. And then if you go into NLP, the auto-digital, the auditory, the kinesthetic, and the visual,
right,
it really goes back to your body language. You know, if you go into the Moravian communication model, the 38% is body language, 55%, I'm sorry, 38% is, hold on, now I confused myself. 7% is words, 55% is body language, and 38% is tonality. You know, all of that, those are 4 components. What is it that we're looking for, and what is it that we're listening for? And do we truly understand and relate, and then be able to talk to the person that we've been listening to and talk back to them so they can understand me.
Right.
It's not that they have to understand me. I need to understand them, and then I need to talk back to them.
Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to. What are you in bank?
What am I in bank? I'm a high action. I am like a go fight, you know, you're ready, fire, aim. I'm in your face. Now, when I talk to my blueprint daughter, I need to get real structured, or else she doesn't understand me, right? When I talk to my knowledge husband, I need to bring the facts. I might as well just write a white paper around it. You know? Yeah. And when I talk to my nurturing daughter, I really need to, you know, tap into my heart, get out of my head, get out of my, you know, aggressiveness, and just tap into the heart and just kind of slow it down.
You have all 4 in your household. Wow. Yes. What a great learning experience that's been.
Oh, yes.
That's good though. So I'm thinking there's a lot of balance going on, right?
There is a lot of balance going on, and there's also never a dull moment. And because, you know, we've got our children, they pick up everything. You know how children are. They pick up everything that we say. And sometimes it comes back to me, and they remind me of the things that they heard me say on the phone or in a webinar, and they go, did you not say that? And I'm like, thank you for reminding me of that.
Busted.
Totally.
My kids learned that I was a little forgetful, and I was always in that action mode. And so they would say things I did not say. And I'd be like, so because I know my truth, I know if I said it or not. Do you know what I mean? And I learned with them, if I didn't want to give them an answer on something, I wouldn't say no. I'd say, I'll think about it. You know, if I said no, I didn't change my mind without a lot of facts. So I usually, let me think about it, or I'll get back to you, you know, whatever. But they started pulling that on me a lot when they got older. And you said, or they'd use my husband and I against us, you know, they'd go to him because he'd say yes, or I'd say yes. And I'd be like, so him and I were really good at going, well, did you talk to Scott, or did you talk to Holly? And because we were always, me and him, same page. Like we always, no matter what, whether we agreed with each other or not, we would have a private discussion, because you're raising that many teenagers. You gotta be on the same page. And I didn't always agree, but it was kind of a give and take.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a compromise.
I learned to listen to my intuition a lot more, even though I feel like I wasn't present a lot of times. I started realizing how much of that I had. Now I look back and think, oh my gosh, it was like a crystal ball if I had paid attention, you know? But I even got that mother intuition for my stepchildren, who are my kids still, you know? Right. I mean, I'm just saying that because there's a difference. You know, they had another mother, but I would get that. And that was a blessing, you know, and we didn't always listen, but I'll tell you what, later in life, my husband would say, yeah, I should have probably listened a little bit more to what you felt, because you always had that feeling. So now I hear him say to the kids, well, you know, your mom has that feeling. And so they usually, okay.
If we could just bottle, you know, the insight that we have now and give it to the younger generation. Not that we're old, I mean, no.
That's the only reason.
But then they wouldn't utilize it, because I know. You know, I can.
They know everything already.
I would have never utilized it. I'm like, let me do my own stuff.
I know. I didn't only make the mistake once. It was 3 seems to be my number. I tend to okay, 3rd time, get it through your head, move on, you know. But guess what? Best learning lessons of my life were usually by that 3rd time. So,
right. And it's always, I was on a call with Mark Uzik yesterday, the hypnotherapist, and he said, we always have a choice to stay victimized when something happens, or to see the lesson in it. And I always see the lesson in it, in everything that I do. You know, it might be tough, and I might have to write it down so I don't forget it.
But stop and step back, and then you can, you know, that's the difference of what I was saying, is I never had time to do that.
Yeah.
Now I think, wait a minute, why is this just happening? Yesterday when I lost 4 hours worth of work on my computer. I mean, that was crucial. I have so much going on. It was like, Are you kidding me? My poor husband, he finally went to Lowe's. He was like, I'm checking out. I don't even know what to say to you other than I love you, honey, and I'm sorry. See, I'm going to Lowe's.
Oh my gosh. Yes. But like I said earlier, there's probably a lesson in all of that. And what now flows through you as you go through that again is going to be even more superb than before.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Well, okay. We're about out of time. So will you share something with the listeners? First of all, your contact information we'll put below on the link, so they'll be able to get that. And I don't know where they're listening. We're on all different platforms. So
yeah, and I have a little giveaway if you don't mind me
Please,
giving.
This is the time.
Yeah, so if you are curious, and we're all curious in which code and which modality we work in, if you're curious, go to www.mybankcode.com/Höferle, HOEF as in Frank, ERLE, and I'll give that to you, and you can maybe put that in the notes as well. So www.mybankcode.com/Höferle, HOEF as in Frank, ERLE. And if you want to check me out, BrigittaHöferle.com, really straightforward. That's my website. Brigitta, BRIGITTA, Höferle, HOEFERLE.com, or just email Brigitta@Höferle.com.
Great. Did you say Höferle?
Höferle.
Oh,
it's the O with the two dots, which is an umlaut, which is the sound.
No, the wrong sound, I know, but that was out of frustration because I barely speak English, let alone any other language, and I'm the first one, so it's all good. So you just have to go with me and laugh and whatever.
Look, people butcher our name all the time, and that's okay. But I can truly say there's only one Brigitta Höferle. If you Google my name, all you get is my face. It's all over the internet.
Best marketing plan ever, right?
I like it.
And that is your married name, isn't it?
Yeah. My maiden name is Loster, which, that's a whole nother story for another time. But my husband wanted to take my name and let go of Höferle, and then his father and his mother had an absolute meltdown. They said, "You can't do that. Where does tradition come in?" And because we love harmony, we said, "Okay, we get it.
Yeah,
we'll go with the last name Höferle. That's totally fine. Even if we move to the United States, we'll go with it."
Yeah. Well, I'll have to have you on another time. We'll do this again, and maybe we'll get deeper into some personality styles or something.
I'd love that.
And I would too. So, okay. Well, thank you, listeners, for joining us. You've got the information down below in the link. And thank you, Brigitta, for joining me on as our guest today. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Inspiration for an Empowered Life podcast, sponsored by the Image Designers. They will help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. You can learn more about them at theimagedesigners.com or